Welcome to News Edge, your sharpest source for daily headlines and deep dives. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay ahead of the curve. Tonight, we're witnessing a potentially game-changing development in the ongoing housing crisis, one that could reshape the national conversation and impact millions of Americans. The housing market has been under immense pressure, with prices skyrocketing and affordable options slipping further out of reach for everyday families. Headlines across the country highlight the growing sense of urgency as more and more people struggle to find a place they can truly call home. Former President Donald Trump is now weighing a bold and controversial step, declaring a national housing emergency. This move, if taken, would mark a significant escalation in the federal government's response to the crisis, signaling that the situation has reached a tipping point that demands immediate and extraordinary action. The primary goal behind this possible declaration is to harness the full power of the presidency to address soaring housing costs. By invoking emergency powers, Trump could bypass the usual congressional gridlock that has stalled housing reform for years, and instead take direct action to stabilize prices and increase supply. For families watching prices climb higher every month, this could offer a glimmer of hope. Sources close to the former president suggest that this declaration could come as soon as this fall, strategically timed to coincide with the peak of the election season. The move would not only address a pressing policy issue, but also send a powerful message to voters that Trump is willing to act decisively where others have hesitated. By officially framing housing as a national crisis, the administration could unlock a range of special authorities, cutting through red tape, fast-tracking permits, and accelerating the construction of new homes. This could mean more shovels in the ground, more jobs, and ultimately, more affordable homes for families in need. The message from Trump's camp is clear. Business as usual isn't working. Millions of Americans are being priced out of their neighborhoods, forced to move farther away from work, family, and community. The pain is real, and the need for action is urgent. The administration believes that an emergency declaration could finally break through the bureaucratic delays and regulatory hurdles that have slowed progress for decades. By streamlining the process, it could become easier and less expensive to build the homes that Americans desperately need. This move is more than just a policy proposal. It's a bold political statement. It promises real action for families who have been left behind by the current system, and it challenges lawmakers to step up and deliver solutions. As the nation watches and debates, Trump's potential emergency declaration sets the stage for a major national conversation about how to fix America's broken housing market. The coming months could prove pivotal as leaders and citizens alike grapple with the question, what will it take to ensure that every American has access to a safe, affordable place to live? How did we get here? Why does it feel like finding a place to call home has become an impossible dream for so many Americans? The housing crisis we're facing today didn't happen overnight. It's the result of years, decades even, of mounting problems that have slowly built up, making it harder and harder for everyday people to find a home they can afford. The biggest reason is simple, but devastating. There just aren't enough homes for everyone who needs one. Experts estimate we're short by as many as 4 million homes nationwide. This shortage has been growing for years, as new construction hasn't kept up with the number of people who need places to live. When there are more people looking for homes than there are homes available, prices naturally shoot up. This means families across the country are being squeezed, forced to pay more and more just to keep a roof over their heads. Then came COVID-19, which made things even worse. Construction projects were delayed or canceled, supply chains broke down, and the cost of building materials soared. At the same time, remote work became the norm, and suddenly, more people wanted bigger homes or moved to new areas, driving up demand even further. On top of that, rising interest rates have made it much harder for people to afford mortgages. For many first-time buyers, the dream of owning a home now feels completely out of reach, as monthly payments climb higher and higher. The problem is made worse because home prices have been rising much faster than wages. Even people with good jobs are finding it tough to save enough for a down payment, let alone keep up with monthly costs. The goalposts for home ownership keep moving further away, and it's not just buyers who are struggling. Renters are feeling the pain too. As home prices rise, landlords raise rents to keep up with the market, leaving many families with no choice but to move or pay more than they can afford. In cities and fast-growing states, the competition is especially fierce. Bidding wars break out at open houses, and affordable rentals are snapped up almost instantly. For many, finding a decent place to live feels like winning the lottery. As a result, people are forced to make tough choices. Some pay unsustainable amounts of their income on housing. Others move far away from their jobs, enduring long commutes just to find something affordable. Many are putting their dreams, like starting a family or owning a home, on hold. The housing crisis is everywhere, touching cities, suburbs, and rural areas alike. But it hits some communities especially hard. Low-income families, people of color, and young adults are often the most affected, facing the greatest barriers to stable housing. This is a challenge that reaches into every part of American life, shaping where we live, how we work, and what kind of future we can build. The search for a home has become one of the defining struggles of our time. A national emergency isn't just for disasters or war. It's a legal tool that gives the president special powers to address urgent crises. Under the National Emergencies Act of 1976, the president can bypass Congress to act quickly. This could mean redirecting federal funds, waiving regulations, or using federal land for new housing. The idea act decisively when the usual process is too slow. But these powers are controversial. Critics warn they give the president too much authority, often leading to legal challenges. Any emergency declaration on housing would face intense scrutiny in the courts. Still, using these powers signals the administration sees housing as a crisis demanding immediate action. If a housing emergency is declared, the focus will be on boosting the supply of homes, fast. The administration could open up unused federal land for residential construction, jumpstarting new building projects. Streamlining regulations and zoning laws is also on the table, making it easier and cheaper for developers to build. Financial incentives, like lowering closing costs or cutting tariffs on building materials, could provide immediate relief. These steps would mark a major federal intervention in the housing market, challenging local control over development. The plan is ambitious, aiming to shake up how homes are built in America. The goal, a bold, top-down approach to get the market moving again. At the heart of the new housing plan are three foundational pillars: land, regulations, and costs. Each pillar addresses a unique challenge in the housing market, and together they form a comprehensive blueprint for change. The first pillar is land. The proposal aims to unlock the potential of underused federal property, transforming it into vibrant new neighborhoods. By making federal land available for development, especially in and around high-demand, expensive cities, the plan hopes to create more opportunities for people to live closer to where they work and play. This could mean new communities springing up near urban centers, reducing long commutes and easing pressure on existing housing stock. The second pillar is regulations. Right now, a maze of local zoning laws and lengthy approval processes can slow or even stop new housing projects before they begin. The proposal encourages cities to cut through this red tape, either by relaxing restrictive zoning rules or by adopting streamlined federal approval processes. By making it easier and faster to build, the plan aims to boost the pace of construction and allow innovative housing solutions to flourish. The third pillar is costs. Building homes has become more expensive due to rising prices for materials and a shortage of skilled workers. The plan tackles this by proposing to lower tariffs on key building materials, making them more affordable. At the same time, it invests in training programs to grow the construction workforce, ensuring there are enough skilled hands to meet the demand for new homes. By cutting tariffs and investing in people, the proposal hopes to make building homes both cheaper and faster, removing two major barriers that have held back housing supply for years. When these three pillars, land, regulations, and costs, are combined, they create a powerful, coordinated strategy. This approach attacks the housing crisis from every angle, not just focusing on one issue, but addressing the entire system that shapes where and how people can live. The goal isn't a quick fix or a single solution. Instead, it's a broad, sustained effort to increase the supply of homes, drive down prices, and make housing more accessible for everyone. If successful, the hope is to spark a construction boom, one that finally closes the housing gap and brings relief to families struggling to find affordable places to live. For millions of Americans, this could mean the dream of homeownership is no longer out of reach. It could help young families buy their first home, allow seniors to downsize, and give renters more options and stability. But achieving this vision will require unprecedented cooperation at every level of government, federal, state, and local. Each must play its part, from setting policy to approving projects and ensuring communities are ready to grow. The real test will be turning these ambitious ideas into tangible, on-the-ground change. Success depends on action, not just promises, and on communities coming together to embrace new growth. Ultimately, it's a high-stakes gamble, an attempt to reshape the very economics of home building in America, and to create a future where everyone has a place to call home. Housing isn't just policy, it's politics, and it's personal. Nearly everyone feels the impact, whether renting, buying, or just trying to keep up with rising costs. By proposing an emergency declaration, Trump is appealing directly to voters' frustrations and promising bold action. The timing, right before the election, ensures housing will dominate the campaign conversation. It forces other candidates to respond, making housing a central issue. For voters, this is about their future and the American dream. How leaders address housing could decide the outcome at the polls. The National Emergencies Act of 1976 is the legal backbone of this proposal. It was designed to check presidential power, requiring the president to specify which powers he'll use and for Congress to review emergencies. Using it for housing would be unprecedented. Emergencies are usually declared for security threats or disasters. Opponents will argue a housing shortage doesn't meet the legal definition of an emergency. Lawsuits could delay or block the plan, making the courts a key battleground. The act gives the president a powerful tool, but every use is subject to scrutiny. This debate isn't just about housing, it's about the limits of presidential power. The outcome could set a precedent for future executive actions. The stakes go far beyond the housing market. Even if legal hurdles are cleared, practical challenges remain. The housing market is complex, and a federal solution may not fit every community. Releasing federal land helps in cities, but not in rural areas where land isn't the issue. Building new homes takes years, so relief won't be immediate. Local governments control zoning, and their cooperation is crucial. The plan's impact depends on buy-in from states and cities. The housing shortage is deep-rooted, and some experts doubt these measures go far enough. It's a bold attempt, but success is far from guaranteed. So, what's next? The coming months will reveal whether a national housing emergency becomes reality. If declared, expect a flurry of executive orders, new regulations, and immediate legal challenges. The debate will be fierce, with the courts and Congress weighing in. For millions struggling with housing costs, this is more than politics. It's about hope and uncertainty. Will the plan make a real difference? That's the question on everyone's mind. The outcome will shape the future of the American dream. All eyes are on what happens next in the fight for affordable housing.